Hello, Internet! We're here for another mentorship with Geeks Without Bounds and Medithread. Once again today, we're here with Mark Smythe to talk to Medithread about their targets and tasks to get the project towards sustainability. In 2 weeks from now, we're going to be sitting with another Mark Atwood, to talk about open source communities. But for today, I will let Mark take over, and I'll go take notes.
Okay.
So listen,
left our heroes.
I kind of suffered a mild concussion last week, and I'm home on cognitive rest. I'm supposed to minimize my screen time.
Okay.
So audio's cool, but I'm turning my lights off, and I'm not gonna be looking at the screen much.
Okay, no problem.
But by the way, Jonah, if it's easier for you to call in, I can give you a call-in number, so you're not even tempted to look at your screen.
That's way better.
Sorry?
Yes, I would like to do that. That's way better.
Okay, so while he's talking, I'll get that started for you. Okay?
Yeah. You can put it in. You can type it in.
Yep.
Lisha, are you going to Libra Planet?
Sorry?
Are you going to go to Libra Planet in Boston?
No. I don't have the money to get there.
Well, is anyone from Guab going to be there?
No.
Okay.
Right now, we just don't have the money to get there.
You should talk to Mark. He's got great ideas.
Yep. We're working on it.
Well, when Medithread goes platinum, we'll all reap the benefits.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
There's a big update. The Dartmouth folks put in a meaty pull request.
That's great.
Yeah, they came up with a way to integrate with Scalar through a third-party web service tool that they wrote to share vocabularies. But it's not like ontologies or semantic web. It's just like a really lightweight, web-based ontology tool. What do they call it? Onomatopoeia? No, what do they call it, Jed?
Homonym? Is that right?
Yeah. So they wrote Homonym so that they could integrate Scalar and Medithread over HTTP.
That's really cool.
Yeah. It made a bridge between, this really hot publishing platform in the DH world and the teaching and learning platform that I think is much more polished and complete for the back office drafting and assembly of the materials that you would use to publish. And just in time, because Scalar at the moment is currently trying to work on replicating a lot of the features that we have in their tool, because obviously they need ways for people to create the clips that they're going to use to publish the multimedia essays.
Yeah. So that's perfect. That should really help you guys.
Yeah, it should help both of us. All of us.
Exactly. Both groups.
And all three groups. WOB too.
Yeah.
We could have done it without you.
So I have bad news. Apparently, because I launched this Hangout as Geeks Without Bounds, which does not have its own email address, like as an entity, there's no Uber conference line. So next time I will either launch the call as myself instead of as Geeks Without Bounds, or I'll figure out how to make an Uber conference line just for us. I'm sorry about this.
That's cool. I look like
I'm in the so sit back in the dark, ignore your screen.
I look like I'm in witness protection.
We'll have to find a way to mute your voice too, so
yeah,
you can't be identified.
Not mute it, but like change it. We'll
Oh, someone gave me one of those as a gag, but I don't have it anymore.
Okay.
There's some cigarettes around, though. Here, let me get some cigarettes.
Okay, then. last time we were talking about the NME, as I recall. What kind of progress have you made since last week? Do you know the date yet? And do you have a booth or?
So we reached out to the event organizers, and it's not a confirmed date, but they're looking at either April 16th or April 24th.
Okay, so you at least got a rough time frame.
Right.
In terms of what you want to do. So what have you decided what you want to do there? Or at least have you made some preliminary decisions about what it is you want to do there?
Yeah, so ideally, we would kind of have two different tracks. One being kind of more just general interest, demonstrating, Medithread's capabilities, and then the other track would be more of a technical discussion, potentially finding maybe a roundtable type of discussion where we could talk about maybe future, looking at maybe partners that could get more involved. So it's kind of a general high level what we've kind of talked about last week.
It feels like you focused in a little bit this week.
Yeah. The challenge is, right now, Medithread is we're finishing up testing with our spring release. So we haven't actually, done a ton of. We're not really so much in planning mode right now, but at the same time, definitely recognize the value in kind of getting some ideas on paper. So that's something that we came up with last week.
Okay. Do you know what's going to be involved in your demo? What do you actually have a demo put together for this already, or are you going to be doing a new one?
We've done demos in the past. We have quite a few different, we could say, like, call them decks. We'd like to kind of investigate, some of the better demonstrations that we've done. I think one thing that I need to do is just kind of reach out to our internal team to see what type of meetings that we've been able to conduct, in terms of gauging interest from partner developers. It's possible that we've done that before. Jed, I'm not sure if you're aware of any situation where we've kind of done something like that.
Sorry, I'm muting. Like a demonstration, you mean?
Well, so the demonstration is one thing, and I think, like I said, there's been a lot of those, but more of like the second tier track, which would be working with maybe external groups that would be interested in taking a more active role.
Well, I guess I don't know if you would consider something like what Jonah was mentioning. You mean on the tech side? You mean because the tool, the software is open source, so we are working with other people.
Yeah, so
not
I guess
directly, but actually it is kind of directly. The code's out there. They issue pull requests. We communicate directly with them, and we either integrate their code and put it into production, or have a different version of it out there for them to use. Is that what you're kind of?
Well, I was actually asking to see if there was like a in-person type, if that's ever occurred in person. That's
yeah, nothing like a hackathon, like in the same room or anything like that. No.
Okay.
At least
that's something I think we need to kind of organize. We develop an agenda, and like I said, there's other team members that might have gone through that experience with Medithread. So, if that hasn't occurred before, we can, like I said, come up with some preliminary ideas.
Is your demo going to be aimed at trying to win people over to Medithread and sort of funnel them into that roundtable discussion? Or is it a more just sort of general interest, show professors how to adopt it? Or what's your focus of this going to be?
So due to the nature of the NME, I think it's important that we are able to easily communicate, what the tool does on a high level. But at the same time, I think we want to go through the effort of inviting other potential partners that we'd kind of align them for a more technical track, which would be kind of a separate discussion.
Okay, so you're going after two groups of people, basically users to tell them about the product and educate them on it, and people who are going to be part of your development community.
Right.
Okay.
That's exactly right.
Is that going to call for two demonstrations, one for the user and one for the developer, or is that
Yeah, I would think
that
so.
getting beyond you what you want to do, or do you want? Is there a way to fold it into one, or have you worked through that at all, or?
Right. I mean, the idea behind more of the technical discussion, I would suspect somebody that was interested in, taking a higher interest and role in uh, supporting Medithread, that they probably already know its capabilities. They probably wouldn't be in, what does this tool do category. So that's why I thought it might be better to have two separate tracks. And Mark Phillipson, who's not here right now, he thought that was a good idea. He's actually the first to bring that up.
Yeah, and I agree, definitely, having the two different tracks, the demonstration, of the capabilities in one track and one with the technical roundtable. The next mentorship with Mark Atwood, I think, will help give you ideas about, what you can pull into that other track as well. The technical track, in terms of ways to build that community and things.
Okay, great.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing what he has to say and how that creates conversation amongst you guys.
Great. Hey, I appreciate you setting that up. I think it's going to be really great for our team.
Have you guys decided who's going to be the lead on getting the demo together, and who's going to be responsible for the roundtable discussion? Have you done the assignments on who's really going to be the buck stops here person, or?
We haven't, and like I said, I think that comes down to just kind of where we are right now with the team. As well. Obviously, it's not just Medithread, but the development team has a couple projects that they are working on, and we're just kind of getting started on, next semester. So fine-tune details is something that we'll probably be able to work on, probably not even next week, but the week after. And that's kind of our plan for that.
Okay.
Are you thinking about doing a code sprint or a hackathon somehow attached to the NME, maybe right after the NME, or
Yeah, that's been
something like that? Because if you're thinking about that and you'd like our help, we'd be more than happy to do that, and we can work with you to find sponsors so that we can pay for all that jazz together.
Right. Yeah, that has been mentioned. So we definitely like to discuss that as a potential component of the NME.
Okay. Yeah. So April is turning out to be really crazy because that's the month of International Space Apps Challenge, and
Okay.
it's also the month of Hack in the Box. But Lindsay is definitely available during that period, so I know for sure that we could send Lindsay to you to help you guys facilitate that hackathon. Sorry?
Is Guab doing SpaceX?
Yeah, so we are actually founding team members of the Space Apps Challenge. Last year we ran 5 different events. The first year we ran the flagship event. And so yeah, we're doing it again this year. We're not actually running the one in Glasgow this year like we have for the last 2 years, but we will be helping them. We're definitely running one at Greensboro College in Greensboro, North Carolina. We may be doing one here in Seattle, and that's all I know of so far. But what tends to happen with space apps in particular is round about February, suddenly we've got more events on our hands than we thought we had in January. So,
Okay.
yeah. Anyway, are you guys doing a International Space Apps Challenge there at Columbia?
Not that I'm aware of. I don't believe so.
Okay. It's a lot of fun. There's
Is it?
definitely one in New York somewhere. So I strongly recommend getting yourself to it because it is a lot of fun. One of the best hackathons of the year.
Okay, great.
Okay. Do you have any tentative scheduling or a tentative calendar worked out yet for when your things are going to get accomplished? You've got about 90 days before this NME happens? I mean, do you know when do you have just a rough idea when you're going to have your draft of your presentation of your demo ready and agendas ready?
So like I said, I think planning
You've
will.
got the general scope of when you're going to do those things and what the time frame is going to be.
Yeah, like I said, next week is kind of a challenging week for us because it's the first week of classes. So we probably be pretty much focused on things that are happening on campus here. I think the next week we can start working on a tentative plan for that NME. Like I said, one thing about the NME, one of the reasons why we think it's going to be a great opportunity is a lot of the details of the actual event, are kind of taken care of, which reduces the amount of planning and even potentially funding that we need to come up with.
Okay. Second, let's just showing you some.
The task
list
and the volunteer stuff.
Yeah. We had on your action items last time that you're going to send Lisha the fall list of tasks and the specific tasks that volunteers can do. How's that going?
Right. So we actually spoke about that on Thursday, and again, it's been one of those situations where just due to the timing, we weren't able to deliver the list. But basically, we're looking for things that we would be able to hand over to potentially a junior developer, and that also takes, like I said, some time.
Hold on a second. Don't worry about just worrying about handing it over to a junior developer. Like any tasks, because we can get all kinds of volunteers.
Oh yeah, we can get that. We can give you the whole list.
If there's something that you think like this is good for a junior developer, then flag that and say that that's good for a junior developer. That helps me a lot.
Okay, first.
But just anything. Any distinct tasks that you want help on, there are so many people that say, how can I help out with Without Bounds? How can I help out with your projects? And, you're helping me to be able to tell people, if you want to help out, here are tasks you can do. And a lot of those people are, very experienced professional developers. So don't be afraid to give them the hard things.
Okay, so the first thing I can do today is send you the list of, more accepted enhancement requests. One thing is, we do have a vetting process to integrate these enhancements. So, if you wanted, we could work on a list together.
Okay.
But I'll at least send you the list of things that we are looking to pursue for the next year, I'd say.
Yeah, and if you have some sort of process that a volunteer should know about beyond just sending you a pull request, like what are the key things that are going to be important in order for you to accept their pull request, that kind of thing, then put that in there too, because what we'll do this as a blog post, and we'll also do this as part of our list of potential volunteer opportunities.
Okay, great.
What I would suggest is to go through the list that you are referencing and have Susan and I just sit down together with you so we can prioritize and go through like what would be likely candidates for handing over.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Hey, you just have to peg us down for probably just for a little bit together.
Okay.
And we could just send that over. I know Susan's been super busy as well as I have, just trying to get stuff ready for the spring, but it shouldn't take too long, I guess. At least just to get a few items on that list.
Okay. Great. Thanks, Chad.
We can do it remotely or whatever.
Mm-hmm. One general question: do you have a backup plan for? Is there a plan B for getting in your 5 sort of partners in crime that we talked about? I mean, right now you're pretty much banking on NME to get you to what you want to be in the community. Do you have any kind of alternative plans or?
We don't have an alternative plan at this moment.
No. Okay, so there's no plan B out there.
Right.
So you're betting the ranch on the NME.
Well, it's not just the enemy. We have worked with partners in the past. So,
Okay.
I mean, the reality is, I think we might have just as much success, if not more, reaching out to those individuals. Um, that's my initial inclination, but that's a good point. There's certainly some additional measurements that we can take to ensure that we're getting, some support.
I mean, because you want to be working with a bigger community at the end of this mentorship. You want to have them in hand and be moving forward there.
Yeah, that is a goal. Like I said, I think that's one reason why we're really excited to speak with. I'm sorry, was it Mark?
Mark Atwood.
Mark Atwood.
Yeah.
In a couple weeks. Like I said, kind of getting an understanding of what that would look like. That's something that we would just really appreciate some clarity, and might even provide a reason to get more momentum behind securing those partners.
Yeah. I think Mark will be good for that.
Okay, great.
Okay.
So I'll be honest, like these, based on like what we left off last week, and sort of what we kind of needed to do this week, I think that we've hit all of the main points. Are there, questions, concerns, whatever that you guys want to kick back to us?
No, I don't think so. I said this last week, but ultimately, like, what would be really beneficial is, getting some expertise on, what some potential outcomes are. And I think once we kind of have some clarity and some confidence in, that long-term vision, I think we can, definitely start taking some serious actions to start to move in a specific direction.
Yeah, and I really think that conversation with Mark Atwood is going to get you in the direction that you need to be there.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So, we'll hold on. I guess to be continued from my end, but maybe Jed and Jonah have. Jed, do you have anything that? Okay.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything. Yeah.
Okay. Jonah?
I guess not.
Wait, what was the question?
Tim, did you want to add any questions or concerns for?
I mean, it sounds fine. We have a conflict now. It seems like the enemy might be when PyCon is, and I told Maurice about that. But Susan will be here, but Jen and I might not be.
Okay.
Okay.
Otherwise, we've done the dog and pony show quite a few times. We have a lot of decks and curriculums and activities that I think will be really appropriate. So it shouldn't be a crazy amount of work. Ideally, we'd be bringing in the folks that Andre we brought in for that one-day video thing at TC that Lucy put together with Peter.
Okay.
And also, for some context, it's official. We're doing the film MOOC on edX with Pena, and we're dusting off the film language glossary. And that's relevant. So, Alicia, if you go to, search for the film language glossary, CCNMTL.
Film language glossary?
Yeah, super cool site. We worked with the guy who runs the New York Film Fest, and he teaches film classes, obviously. And he, one second. Guys, I'm getting a phone call here. 1 second, guys. But look at the site. It's awesome.
Okay, so the URL for that, for anybody who's watching, is cnmtl.columbia.edu/projects/film glossary. And if you just go to Google and just look up film glossary, it's literally the first thing on the list. So, That's pretty cool. So,
So this is another tool that CSUN MTL has developed, and there is a desire to maintain that really well. So we may be doing some work on that site. So it's media related. Believe Jonah, if I'm not mistaken, Richard Pena, he's used Medithread in the past.
yeah, and Jonah is saying in text that the film terms is all cleared, fair use. So, in other words, it can be used by students or whomever is building uh, building multimedia essays using Medithread. So this is a tool for people and users who are using Medithread.
Yeah. Great.
So anyway, what I was getting to was if we don't have anything else today, we're about 15 minutes early, actually a little bit more than 15 minutes early, but if we don't have anything else today, we can finish up early for today, let you guys go off and do your thing. Andre, I didn't get any email saying that an account had been made for me on Medithread. Did you do that?
Oh, I didn't. I thought you had account. I'll send you a guest account today.
Okay, thanks. My email, and if you don't have it handy, my email and Mark's email are both in last week's notes.
Okay, and it's the same as in the invite?
Yeah, it's the same as in the invite.
Okay.
And basically let you guys get to the task lists and feature enhancements. And as soon as you guys get that stuff to me, the task list, feature enhancements, volunteer requests, whatever, we will put together a blog post for that and try to get you some more development help.
Okay, great.
Okay. And think about the in-person hackathon or code sprint, and if you want to do that and what you'd like that to look like. You do not have to wait until 2 weeks from now to contact us about that. Okay, just if you guys decide that you want to go forward and you want to start working on that, let us know and let's start putting that together for you.
Okay, great.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Great.
Bye, guys.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.